All right, so I figured I would fill everyone on the channel in on the status of the Supra. Been getting a lot of questions on if I even have it anymore. I do have it. I just got it running again. I had transmission issues at the end of 2017, and I've been waiting for parts all of 2018. I rebuilt all of the suspension. It's got stance coilovers that are custom valved for it now on all four corners. I put R2 suspension bushings all around in it. When I drained my diff fluid, I found I had a straight cut Torsen gear tooth in it, so I now have a OS Geiken rear diff in the car. So that's all the work that I was doing in the winter of 2018. I got the tranny back this last February. I still have a problem with the transmission. The Synchrotech 1-2 sleeve pops out of gear, so currently if I am on it in first gear and I let off while it's decelerating, it will actually pop out of first gear. Seems like there's a few other people that have had Synchrotech 1-2 sleeve issues, so this particular issue is not just down to my own car or my transmission. But in like the few days that I had the car running really again, maybe it was a month, I guess, I ended up hurting the number 6 cylinder. I had changed the wastegate dump so that it wasn't blowing anywhere near the suspension, and I noticed that it gotten like some exhaust residue on the control arm and stuff. So as I was refinishing all that, I decided to redo my wastegate dump. So the car's making a little bit more boost. I didn't have my knock control perfectly set up, and had 1.5-year old gas, and I ended up hurting cylinder number 6. So I now know what knock looks like on the stock knock sensors. However, now I have the Bosch sensors in it. So long story short, I ended up pulling the engine out. The car is now on a VVTi setup. So I ordered a motor, or bought a motor from Japan, from a junkyard, or from whoever, and ended up putting it in the car. So that took most of this summer. So I've gone through and I've powder coated a whole bunch of stuff. I'm still on an AEM Infinity. I'm still on a turbo that should probably be replaced. It's an old Precision T61 ball bearing turbo. I do believe it's leaking a little bit of oil into the exhaust, so I do get some smoke from that. But otherwise, that's been the main project with the car this winter this last summer, has been getting this engine in the car, which it's been about a week now. And I'm from Wisconsin, so the car is going to be going to storage pretty quickly. But next year, the plan is to get the new suspension all dialed in. I still haven't even had it properly aligned. I've just kind of pointed the tires in the general direction that they need to go so I can drive it around, just to kind of get the motor slightly set up. But the game plan is to have it back on the road course next year. I still plan to use the S2000 most of the time, just because this car, everything has gotten so expensive, and the value of the car is so high that it's almost cost prohibitive to really drive it at 100% on track. But I plan to do at least 1 to 2 track days with it this next year. If you guys have any other questions or want to see anything else with the car, just let me know. I can try and help fill you in. I can show you some of the wiring stuff too. I did wire in all my sensors, and I have made my own little bracket to mount my ECU. Some of you may have already seen some photos of this, but that's my AM ECU mount. I'm currently about to pull the dash out. I'm going to be doing the Stu Hagen dash upgrade, and I need to wire my wheel speeds, so I'm going to have to get up in here to the ABS module to get my wheel speeds put in. But I'm just on an AEM 506. So one other thing to add, along with doing the VVTi motor, I did go with a radium fuel rail on here. I have some ID 1050X injectors. I have the radium fuel pressure damper and fuel pressure regulator, which you can see the regulator there. Damper is pretty hard to see, it's buried in there. Put in a flex fuel sensor I custom made. The bracket right here, I really like how that turned out. My fuel pressure sensor is down, you can kind of see it way down at the bottom here. It's kind of hard to point out, but it's right above the factory factory fuel filter. Sorry, and then I have a oil pressure mounted like so, and I put the stock oil pressure over here by the turbo. So the stock oil pressure sender is kind of hard to see in this, but it is mounted over here. I can't turn a light on, but it's down. There's a block oil feed for a stock twin turbo car that I don't use anymore, so I'm using that. And then I have an oil temp sensor that's in the pan, and you can see the connector way at the bottom there. So hopefully that kind of fills you in on sort of the engine changes that are going on right now as well. The plan next year is to get it tuned on both pump gas and E85, and I plan to do that all myself. Probably will be asking for some advice and help along the way, but I'm kind of the do-it-yourself type, so yeah. Alright, I figured it wouldn't be right to not have any video of the car running, so I figured I'll start up and you guys can hear how the VVTi motor sounds. So far it has been running pretty well. I've been very happy with it. It was a long process, but